With the Arizona Cardinals now falling to 3-6 on the season and falling to 0-3 on the division, and yes, getting swept again for yet another year against the Seattle Seahawks, this might be a hole you can't climb yourself out of. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we're covering the Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. So subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. We are on the road to 19K. Cannot do it without you guys. Today, unfortunately, we're going to have to talk about Cardinals versus Seahawks, and man, did we get obliterated. Yes, we did. By the time you blinked your eyes, it was the second quarter, and the Cardinals were down 35-0. Definitely a huge hole to try to get yourself out of. And man, everything was a problem in this game. Let's talk a little bit of injuries first. There's a lot of injuries for the Arizona Cardinals, unfortunately. Will Johnson didn't play. Max Melton didn't play. Mac Wilson Sr. didn't play in the beginning of the game. And we ended up seeing Walter Nolan get hurt, unfortunately. Darius Robinson ended up getting hurt. And then Jonah Williams ended up getting hurt, and he was questionable return. I don't know how many times we had to talk about this. I don't know why it took Jonah Williams to get hurt in order for him to be pulled out and Kelvin Beachum to be the sub. I don't understand it myself, but let's see what happens. It's so frustrating. We've been jumping on a soapbox that he ain't it at right tackle, and the Cardinals are consistently just throwing him there and watch him get beat week in and week out. So let's see what happens with Kelvin Beachum if he gets an opportunity next week. Fingers crossed, but this was as much of a beatdown as you can say, right? The Cardinals again got swept by the Seattle Seahawks. We're now dropping to 3-6 on the season, and we're falling to 0-3 on the division. So not a good situation to find yourself in for Arizona Cardinal fans that felt like we had some sort of chance after the win against the Dallas Cowboys. Let me say one thing. This Seattle Seahawks team is not the Dallas Cowboys. This Seattle Seahawks team is the real deal. They are that damn good. And kudos to them. It sucks to see as a Cardinal fan that it takes us 3 or 4 years to rebuild while they get a new coach in Mike McDonald and they're competitive from year one. Going into year two, guess what? They're competitive again. So very frustrating to see as a Cardinal fan, but the proof of the pudding is that Jonathan Gannon might have got his worst loss on the season when everything has been so close. He always used to say things like, oh, we're close, we're close, we're close. This was not a close game, ladies and gentlemen. One bit. Let me give a real quick shout out here to the sponsors of the Easy Sports Fan here on YouTube. The guys keeping the lights on. That's going to be none other than Sleeper. The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy football. Pick on stats for stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, and fantasy points, and more for up to 100 times the payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right and you can win big. Use promo code AZSF and you can get up to a $100 deposit match on your first initial deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. And on top of that, they will also provide you with $20 just to provide to you, right? Just so you can use their app. There's no deposit needed, so you'll be able to get the deposit match as well as a free $20 on the Sleeper app. Please use Sleeper, proud sponsors of the Easy Sports Fan throughout the entirety of the 2025 season. Everything will be in the description below of this video. Let's continue the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about to see exactly what the heck happened in this game. Seahawks started off with the ball, 7 plays, 65 yards, touchdown. Not a big deal, right? We've seen this before, but unfortunately the defense couldn't really do anything in the first half. And then the Cardinals came on to the offensive side of the ball. There was a forced fumble and taken back for a touchdown. 14-0 Seahawks. Cardinals are not doing very good. Then they have 5 plays, 18 yards. They punt the ball, and then you got the Seattle Seahawks getting the ball next, and they score a touchdown with 9 plays, 81 yards, 21-0. Cardinals get the ball in their third possession, and they fumble it again, 28-0. Cardinals get the ball, 3 plays, 12 yards, punts it, and then the Seahawks get another touchdown, 35-0. By the time you blinked your eyes, it was the second quarter, and the Cardinals were so far down. There was really kind of no coming back from what ended up transpiring. Now, there was one point, maybe late in the third quarter, maybe early in the fourth quarter, where it felt like the Cardinals might make some sort of comeback. But man, we were forcing it over to Marvin Harrison Jr. so many times, and unfortunately, he just couldn't get it right in this game. If there was one game that I would say that Marvin Harrison Jr. needs to kind of learn from, it's this game in a nutshell. Jonathan Gannon had his worst game all year long. Marvin Harrison Jr. arguably had one of his worst game either as well. He had a lot of opportunities to catch a couple balls. He just either not securing it, the balls were dropped. It was a lot of terribleness, right? But let's start off with the rushing attack for the Cardinals, right? Again, a real putrid attempt of a run attack that the Cardinals ended up having, unfortunately. The best run was Amari DiMercado. That ended up having like a 55-yard run. 4 carries, 64 yards. That's where a good majority of the yards ended up coming from, Amari DiMercado, and he ended up holding onto the ball. Hallelujah. Jacoby Brissett got involved, 4 carries, 31 yards. And then Bam Knight, which is supposed to be our number one guy, 10 carries, 28 yards. Not very good. Michael Carter, you ended up seeing him at the later part of the game. The Cardinals threw the towel in with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They threw the towel in. You ended up seeing Keaton Slovis in this game already. Jacoby Brissett was sitting on the sidelines. It was pretty much cooked at that point. But there is nobody on this team in the running back that anybody's scared of. Let's call like it is, ladies. Nobody's scared of this Arizona Cardinal running attack. And Monty Alstonfort refused to go after anybody. They refused to go after anybody. So that's very frustrating. I'm hoping that Trey Benson is going to be that guy for us, but can he stay healthy? That's a question for a different day. So far, we've seen 2 seasons, and he's landing himself on the IR every single season, unfortunately. Jacoby Brissett was constantly harassed. He was sacked 5 times. Sam Darnold was sacked only once. And it was a good sack, though. It was a forced fumble by Josh Sweat. So that was pretty cool to see. That ended up happening, I believe, in the third quarter, if not maybe like early in the fourth quarter. That's where I was like, oh, maybe the Cardinals might have a chance, but there was no chance. Jacoby was constantly harassed. Let's talk about the receiving game. Trey McBride had himself a really good game. 9 receptions, 127 yards, 1 touchdown. He was targeted 13 times. Amari DiMercado, 3 receptions, 40 yards. He was targeted 4 times. Marvin Harrison Jr., this is going to be probably shocking to you. He had 3 receptions. He was targeted 12 times. 33 yards, 1 touchdown. Like I said, Marvin Harrison Jr. struggled in this game. Struggled in this game mightily. And it wasn't even close. I need to see better from Marvin. 110% better, especially when you're looking on the other side of the coin and you're seeing Jackson Smith and Jigba put up 5 receptions, 93 yards and a touchdown. That's what we're expecting from wide receiver number 1. And unfortunately, we're just not getting that. Cooper Kupp probably had his best game all year. 2 receptions, 74 yards. He was only targeted twice. So there was just, it was an abundance of not very good offensive play in the first half and very unfortunate circumstances with Jacoby Brissett ended up fumbling the ball, right? The defense for the Seattle Seahawks is the real deal. That team is legit. The best 2 teams right now in the division, Seahawks and the Rams. It's not even close. They are the better team. We got obliterated. Now, like I said earlier, I'm hoping that Walter's fine. I'm hoping that Jonah's fine, but hopefully gets benched. And I'm hoping that Darius is fine. We were already pretty thin and hurt coming into this game, but this proves and shows to you that if the Cardinals continue to win, they were going to continue to ride this whole conservative approach from Monty. Monty literally had every opportunity to potentially go after Breece Hall. Every opportunity to do that, and he didn't do anything. Monty had every opportunity to draft Cam Skadabu, and he didn't. For some reason, there is a lack of understanding as to we need to bring in guys that can stay healthy, right? And I know that's not all on him. Like, it's unfortunate that these guys can be healthy in their careers, but they come here and they're all hurt, right? That's very unfortunate. But we need to bring in more depth. We got to, man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We got to. The Arizona Cardinals right now are in a situation where they need to play better. They need to play better. I mean, we're 3-6. I mean, what can we really accomplish anymore? I don't think we can really accomplish very much. Right now, we're sitting at the 11th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. If you're truly looking to get yourself a QB, you need to be probably top 3, top 2 in the NFL Draft. So we got the 49ers next week. Honestly, I don't even know if this Cardinals team, they probably can, but do I really want them to win? I don't know, man. I really don't. This was an opportunity for the Arizona Cardinals to make some sort of, what's the word? I guess get right season, and it's done. There's no other way to put it. It's done. The Cardinals, again, before November hit. No, I'm sorry. We're in November. We're in November. But again, the Arizona Cardinals can't play meaningful football in November and December because they're out of contention. They lost. And what, are they 9-0 against us now? We got a 9-0 winning streak against the Cardinals. We've been swept multiple years in a row by the Seattle Seahawks, and we couldn't do anything to negate it. This team right here, man, this team right here can definitely very well use some sort of life support. I don't know if this coaching staff can do it. I really don't. I know there was a report that was floating around about Gannon might be able to pick his quarterback. I don't even know if I want Gannon, honestly. I don't even know if I want Gannon. You have every opportunity to try to beat the Seahawks, and you can't do it. Your record in the division is very bad. You're not a winning coach. I don't know how you're going to try to convince Cardinal fans to say, okay, we're going to try a fourth year. We got rid of Kyler. We're going to keep you. Like, how do you try to sell that? I don't know if you do. One thing I will say is they kept fighting. I'll give them that. They kept fighting. Penalties weren't that big of an issue. There were 5 penalties for the Cardinals, 37 yards on us. For them, 3 penalties, 20 yards. And I don't want to say like we weren't getting called or like favored called our way or calls getting called our way. There was some moments I was pretty darn frustrated that they were calling a very tiki-tacky type of game, not calling it for us. Time of possession, they had the ball 33 minutes and 40 seconds to our 26 minutes and 20 seconds. They beat us down. There's no way else to put it. They beat us down. We were beat down, and the season is over. Now, another player I forgot to mention that got hurt in this game as well is Zay Jones. Another wide receiver the Arizona Cardinals depended on. Bam Knight might be hurt as well. There's just so many injuries, man. So many injuries in this game. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens moving forward. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what are your overall thoughts here on this loss? Cardinals lose 22-44 against the Seattle Seahawks, and they're consistently always dominating on us. Let me know in the comments. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cardinals.